I was beautiful since childhood but had no leverage. When my adoptive father saw me for the first time, he praised me as an extraordinary beauty. He immediately paid money to buy me from my father. 1 hour later, my adoptive father regretted it, because when I was driving the horse carriage for him, I broke his leg with one whip. When he went back to find my father to return me, my father had already moved his whole family away, with no news. My adoptive father raised me for 5 years. I ate a lot and had great strength. I ate up all of my adoptive father's family savings. Suehua, your dad's salary as a 6th grade official really cannot support your appetite of 10 tubs of food per meal. Fortunately, you are an adult now, so dad found a good place for you. The 9th prince has money, he can definitely afford to feed you. Having food to eat is my only pursuit in this life. Will it be enough? Yes, absolutely. You are going to be well fed. Hurry up, go, 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 go. Dad, you are a good person. I will come back to see you after I eat my fill. However, I only ate one full meal in the prince's mansion, and then I was put into the heavenly jail together with the prince. In the dark prison cell, I saw the rumored physically weak 9th prince for the first time. You are the beauty that Master Su gave to this prince. Prince, when will the food be served? The 9th prince was stunned. Do you know what it means to enter this place? Even if one is to be beheaded, people should be given enough food to be full. Didn't they say the final meal before execution is very rich? When will it be served? The 9th prince's mouth twitched. He closed his eyes and ignored me. He could not be counted on. I had to find a way myself. Hey, big brother, it's already lunchtime. Why haven't you sent the food yet? The jailer looked at me in shock and threw me 2 cold and hard steamed buns. I originally wanted to eat them alone, but I still painfully shared one with the 9th prince. The 9th prince refused. I swallowed the food in one breath, but I was still hungry after eating. Do you want to escape the prison? I want to eat Jang's big pork elbow. If we go out now, he hasn't closed his stall yet. It should be in time. Are you crazy? The iron jail is heavy. It is hard to fly out even with wings. I smashed a hole in the wall with one punch. The 9th prince opened his eyes, watching helplessly as that wall collapsed under my punch. I carried the 9th prince and rushed straight out. The heavenly jail collapsed with a loud crash behind me and was flattened to the ground. In the panic, the 9th prince grabbed my shoulder. Jang's pork elbow is in the east. After eating the pork elbow, I was satisfied. What do you plan to do next? I was taken aback by the question. So you didn't arrange anything, and just brought this prince to jailbreak? I was just too hungry. How about we buy a few pork elbows to carry and then go back to the jail? The 9th prince sneered. Then you better think it through. After going back and finishing the pork elbows, you will still be hungry. But the jail could not be returned to. So I squatted by the roadside, racked my brains to think for 15 minutes, and then carried the 9th prince to knock on my adoptive father's door. My adoptive father was a 6th grade official. His salary was very little. After his wife fell sick and passed away, he had been alone until now, and there were no servants at home. My adoptive father opened the door, and when I saw him, my eyes became hot. Dad, I miss you so much. Unexpectedly, my adoptive father cried on the spot. A married out girl, how can she return to her parents' home at midnight? This does not conform to the rules. How about this? You two stroll on the street and come back when it is dawn. My adoptive father wanted to close the door, but I pulled it at once. Dad, we don't care about these rules. Didn't you say too many rules is just rigid? I carried the prince into the door, and my dad kept trembling. 9th prince, you don't care about rules either? The 9th prince yawned. When away from home, this prince doesn't care anymore either. After he looked around in my room for a while, he called me to change into new bed sheets for him. I quickly changed the bed sheets for him and comforted him to sleep. When I came out, my adoptive father was still crying, so I hugged my adoptive father. Don't be sad. Although a married out daughter is like spilled water, I am filial. I said I would provide for you and bury you, so I will definitely do what I said. Indeed filial, he said, then hurry bury this old man. That night, I made do for a night in the main room. After my adoptive father went to the Yemen the next day, he didn't come back all the way until night. Your adoptive father ran away. I didn't believe it, and wanted to go to the government office to find him. You cannot go out, because you are a wanted criminal now. Think of another place where we can stay, and leave right now. I thought back and forth but still had no place to go. So I asked the 9th prince back, don't you have relatives? Let's go to stay with them for a while. My relatives are all imperial relatives. To go find them, we might as well go straight back to the jail. What he said made a lot of sense. So at night I packed the remaining 4 steamed buns at home, led the 9th prince to walk for a whole night, and went to the countryside. I had no place to go, so I could only come to my adoptive father's hometown. Unexpectedly, my adoptive father was also there. He was standing in the courtyard holding a water bucket, and looked at us for a good long while. Master Su, your foot speed is quite fast. My adoptive father was shaking with fear. I came ahead of time to arrange and clean up, so that you could move in immediately when you arrive. I proudly told the 9th prince that my adoptive father was a good person. The ninth prince pinched my face and also agreed with my evaluation of my adoptive father's character. Our family of 3 lived happily in Su family village. Our neighbor's last name was Zhang. His family had a son named Erniu. Erniu and I knew each other since childhood, and he was very good to me. When we were little, as long as his mother made delicious food, he would secretly bring it to share with me. He also said that when he grew up, he would make me his wife. I agreed, because the dishes his mother made were really delicious. I went to Erniu's house and greeted them. Brother Erniu, if there is any heavy work in the future, call me to do it. Erniu gave me a lot of food. As soon as I entered my own home, I found the 2 people inside had strange expressions. Why are you unhappy? Are you hungry? My adoptive father looked at me with a worried face, and the ninth prince said with a smile, hungry, what do we eat for lunch? Sweet potato stew, pumpkin stew. Before I finished speaking, the ninth prince coughed a few times and said with grievance, I want to eat meat. I felt the delicate prince who had fallen into such poverty was a bit pitiful, so I prepared to go into the mountains to hunt. My adoptive father clutched the purse on his waistband, went out silently, and bought a fish back after a while. The ninth prince was anxious to eat well, but I didn't care about what to eat, as long as I was full every meal. But whether eating well or eating much, it all required spending silver. But the ninth prince said neither he nor I could show our faces, so the heavy burden of earning money to support the family fell onto my adoptive father. He lost his official position, but fortunately, he wrote good characters, so he set up a stall at the street corner to write for people. But money was too little, so he took a part-time job of washing dishes in a restaurant. My adoptive father was really a good person. I couldn't let him work hard alone, so I turned over several pieces of old land at home, preparing to plant wheat. The life of our family of 3 was quite good. I could eat my fill, and the ninth prince could eat meat too. But because the ninth prince was born too high, many people in the village were very curious about him and always wanted to ask about his background. But the ninth prince did not allow me to speak, so I kept my mouth shut and did not reveal a single word. As time went on, everyone stopped asking. I was very busy every day. After finishing the work on my own land, I also had to help other families farm. Because my strength was great, everyone was willing to call me to help. You do your own house's work every day, and also help others work, aren't you tired? As long as I eat my fill, I have endless strength. If only your strength were used on growing common sense, you wouldn't be so lacking in it. Neighbors certainly should help each other, and I help them work. They will give me quite a lot of food. I don't work for nothing. This day I helped Aunt Ma's family carry firewood. Aunt Ma's family had many people, so the firewood to be used was also a lot. Suehua is the capable one. These few loads of firewood, the man in my family would need several trips to carry back. I smiled and wiped my sweat. They don't have strength as great as mine. Call me whenever there is work in the future. The man of her house were squatted at the door eating meat buns. I smiled to greet him. They were all very polite to me. This meat bun was quite fragrant. Aunt Ma scooped a ladle of cold water and handed it to me to drink. Thank you, Suehua. There is only enough food for the family to eat, so I won't keep you for dinner. I wanted to ask Aunt Ma, what about the 2 pumpkins she promised to give me? But Aunt Ma went into the kitchen to eat, and I was too embarrassed to ask. Just after walking out of Aunt Ma's house, I saw the ninth prince standing by the roadside waving at me. The 3 men of her house are all resting at home, yet they called you to carry firewood and you went. I am as strong as a cow. How can her family be as powerful as me? The ninth prince frowned, suddenly grabbed my hand, and stared at the blood marks on it. A little calf can also be scratched. I rubbed the wound. Doing work will cause injuries. It's fine. I listened through the window this morning. What about the 2 pumpkins she promised you? Why didn't she give them to you? She probably forgot. But it's fine. Next time she might remember it. Wait here. He flicked his sleeve and walked toward Aunt Ma's house. I was afraid he would suffer a loss, so I chased after him. As a result, he turned his head and glared at me, and I dared not move. But what surprised me was that the ninth prince didn't came out for long after entering. The 4 members of Aunt Ma's family each held a big pumpkin, following behind the ninth prince while trembling. Suehua, I forgot to give you the pumpkins. This end is old and muddled. I am sending them to your house right now. Why do they look very scared? Usually too idle. Their legs have no strength anymore. From this day on, Aunt Ma would avoid walking past my house door. Not only Aunt Ma's house, many people in the village were like this. I asked my adoptive father for the reason. My adoptive father rubbed his arm and gave me a meaningful look. Have you never thought that the ninth prince beat them? I could not believe it. The ninth prince is physically weak. How could he beat people? My adoptive father did not speak, bowed his body, and went out. My good adoptive father, he seemed to have aged a lot. I must work hard to repay him. The ninth prince disliked that my adoptive father earned too little money, so he gave his painting to my adoptive father. I stared at the painting for a good long while. I wanted to say it was not good looking, but I was afraid of offending the ninth prince because I didn't know the value. However, the pig in the painting was quite fat. If this were a real pig, killing it to eat would definitely be delicious. I swallowed my saliva. I hadn't eaten pork elbow for a long time. The ninth prince gave me a disdainful white glance. Take it to sell, and buy 10 pork elbows back after selling it. My adoptive father almost fell off the stool. Prince, the people who can read and write in this small town can be counted on one's fingers. I'm afraid nobody can appreciate this kind of elegant thing. This prince says someone will buy it, then someone will buy it. My adoptive father father had no choice but to leave with the painting. I picked up my bow and arrows, preparing to go into the mountains to hunt. The ninth prince requested to go together. Prince, today I must hunt a wild rabbit to give you a taste of meat. Oh, I don't like to eat rabbits. The ninth prince walked with his hands behind his back. Although he wore old clothes, he still walked like a prince. I felt, how could a person like him rebel? Prince, why did you rebel? The prince gave me a white glance. This prince is too lazy to rebel. Naturally someone framed me. As he spoke, he touched my head. Suehua, this prince will clear his name sooner or later. At that time, you will be the greatest contributor. My eyes lit up. Then will the prince reward me? The ninth prince coughed and raised his chin. This prince can fulfill one wish for you. Is any wish okay? Of course, but don't be too excessive. If you want to be the ninth princess, this prince will not agree. What ninth princess or eighth princess? They are not important. Not important? Prince, reward me with a meat shop, the kind that is very, very big. The smile on the prince's face froze. So the ninth princess is not as important as a meat shop? Huang Suehua, this prince underestimated your silliness. Is the request very excessive? If not, how about you restore my dad to his original official position, and let me go back to his side. I promise to provide for him and bury him. He is still far from dying. Then I will wait until he dies. The ninth prince seemed to be unhappy, staring at me coldly. Don't regret it when the time comes, crying and begging me. No, prince, I behave properly and stand straight. I never beg people. The ninth prince flicked his sleeve and turned back. Are we still going hunting? Hunt your head. Why do you insult people for no good reason? I had no choice but to call Erniu. Brother Erniu, my ninth brother is not entering the mountain anymore. The two of us go by ourselves. Let's go and return quickly. Erniu rushed out from his house at once, carrying his bow and running out of the courtyard. Go, go. Today there is no dead weight. We will surely hunt many good things. I must hunt a wild chicken today. Erniu did not understand. Didn't you want to hunt rabbits? The ninth prince said he doesn't like to eat rabbits, so I will hunt wild chickens. With delicious food, he certainly won't be angry or insult people anymore. I was about to leave, when suddenly I felt the back of my head was a bit chilly. Turning back to look, the ninth prince was staring at me gloomily. I ran away carrying my bow. My harvest today was very big. Erniu and I piled the prey in my courtyard to share. The ninth prince just sat in the courtyard drinking tea while watching us. Suehua, a man still needs to be able to work to let a woman have a good life. Unlike some men, who cannot carry with their shoulders or lift with their hands, cannot earn money, and looking for a woman is just harming the woman. The ninth prince drank his tea leisurely. Just at this moment, my adoptive father returned home. Ninth brother's painting sold for 1,000 taels. I was stunned. Just that fat pig sold for 1,000 taels. My goodness, a real pig couldn't sell for 1,000 taels either. Erniu froze on the spot, looked at the prey on the ground, and his face turned completely red. It's just 1,000 taels. My painting could be bought for 10,000 taels by someone. Erniu left dejectedly, not even wanting to pray anymore. I was very happy. In the evening, I not only cooked chicken but also cooked big pork elbows. At night, I laid out paper for the ninth prince and invited him to sit down. What is this for? The pig you painted is so valuable. Why don't you paint some more tonight? Paint cows instead. One piece sells for 2,000 taels. Let's paint 100 pieces first. I couldn't do the math, and could hardly imagine how happy I would be if I had so much money. The ninth prince's expression was very unfriendly, as if I were treating him like a fool. It snowed heavily for 3 consecutive days. The three of us closed the door to study food at home. I stewed pork elbows, cooked fish heads, and also bought wine for my adoptive father. The prince also got into the mood, so I accompanied him. Not long after, my adoptive father got drunk and pulled the ninth prince to complain about his hardships. I worked hard to raise Suehua. Every day when I couldn't eat my fill, I had to buy steamed buns back for Suehua. I originally wanted to send her to the prince's mansion to flatter you and help me get promoted. Even if I could be a high official for half a year before being dismissed, it would be fine. But now, we have ended up in such a state. I made a promise to my deceased wife that I would definitely earn an imperial title for her in this life. If I cannot earn it, I won't have the face to see her when I die. Prince, you are so unpromising. Clearly knowing you were framed by someone, you don't clear your name, but hide in this mountain ditch instead. I saw the ninth prince was angry and his face looked bad, so I quickly poured 2 more bowls of wine for my adoptive father, and he then completely fell asleep. Prince, I will accompany you to build a snowman. I wanted to coax the ninth prince so he wouldn't be angry at my adoptive father. The ninth prince took a look at me. Huang Suehua, between me and your adoptive father, you choose one. I hung my head, not daring to answer him, fearing he would be angry again. But in the end, I still gathered my courage to say, my adoptive father raised me for 5 years. I ate many meals of his. But I only ate 1 meal in the prince's mansion. The kindness of this 1 meal cannot outweigh 5 years. The ninth prince was still angry, pushed away his chair and walked out. Build what snowman? Let's have a snowball fight. I liked snowball fights. The ninth prince threw snowballs at me. I let him have 3 hits, and then I hit his head with a snowball, causing a big bump. The ninth prince covered his forehead and stood in the snow cursing me. Huang Suehua, for 3 days I will not speak to you. The ninth prince really ignored me, and he also became mysterious, often going out quietly by himself, not allowing me to follow. I seem to have heard that the emperor is sick. I don't know if he is really sick, or if he fainted fainted again. My adoptive father was uncertain and dared not advise the ninth prince. After all, there is still Duquan in the court. The emperor trusts the ninth prince, but Duquan will not let the matter drop easily either. Duquan was the maternal grandfather of the eighth prince and seemed to be a treacherous official. This day at dusk, I was sweeping snow in the courtyard. The ninth prince was bathing in the room, and my adoptive father sat in front of the table counting his 10 copper coins earned today, murmuring while counting, "Dad, you earn more by writing characters than by being an official." My adoptive father ignored me too. I was about to explain, when suddenly I saw a cold light flash in the forest opposite us. Looking closer, I could see quite a few people squatting in the woods. I dropped the broom and went back into the room. "Dad, pursuers are coming, run." My adoptive father's hand shook with fear, and 3 of his 10 copper coins dropped. While he hesitated whether to pick them up or not, I had already rushed into the ninth prince's room. "Prince, pursuers are coming." The ninth prince was soaking in the bath barrel. "Go out. They won't listen to your words to go out. This prince tells you to go out. It's too late, prince." I grabbed the quilt, lifted the ninth prince out of the water barrel, wrapped him up quickly, carried him on my shoulder and rushed out. The people in the opposite forest saw us, and immediately rushed out from the woods. "Stop, stop." They had fully 20 people, everyone holding swords and looking fierce. I picked up the iron shovel, swinging it so fast it made a whistling sound. Those people simply could not come near. It got dark early in winter. My adoptive father and I ran in the snow, and those people chased closely without stopping. This was not a solution. I handed the prince to my adoptive father, deciding to go back and face them. Those guards had decent martial arts, but my strength was great. After I broke the arms of 2 people, those people finally became afraid. Just when I thought I had to continue a fierce battle, I heard the ninth prince roar, "All of you get lost for this prince." Those people all ran away. The ninth prince was indeed powerful. His residual prestige still existed. I carried the ninth prince again. "But this place cannot be stayed in for long. Let's go." "Wang Suehua, go back." "Prince, don't shout. They should hear us." The prince seemed to be very angry. I understood his feelings. After all, being hunted by his own father and brother, anyone's mood would not be good. But he was really too noisy, so I knocked him unconscious. This night, I held the ninth prince and carried my adoptive father, running 80 miles through the night, hiding into an old cave in the deep mountains. I pulled the ninth prince's head out of the quilt, and he looked at me with a green face. I patted him and comforted, "Prince, rest assured, as long as I, Wang Suehua, am here, absolutely nobody can hurt you." The ninth prince's voice was hoarse, and his expression was sorrowful. "Wang Suehua, for these 6 hours, have you never thought whether it was possible that those people just now were not pursuers?" It turned out those people were not pursuers, but the ninth prince's guards, hiding in the dark to protect him. I murmured softly, "If you don't say it, how would I know?" Was this prince not saying it, or did he have no chance to say it? He was talking about the matter of me knocking him unconscious. The ninth prince was very angry. I spent a lot of effort to coax him for a long time. I went out to find tree leaves to weave clothes for the prince. When I came back, the prince was already wearing my adoptive father's cotton coat. I was very surprised. The ninth prince said my adoptive father insisted on taking it off for him to wear. "Dad, you are so kind." Yes, Dad has always been very kind. After we hid in the mountain cave for half a day, the ninth prince's guards found us, bringing him clothes and a hand warmer. I was especially happy, and quickly took them for him to wear. I stood at the cave entrance guarding the door for the ninth prince. "Prince, do you need my help?" "Wang Suehua, have you ever thought that the person this prince is guarding against is you?" I was extremely surprised and puzzled. What was there to guard against me? I couldn't possibly hurt him. My adoptive father sneezed. "When are we going back?" His 3 copper coins dropped on the ground were not picked up, and when we left, the door was not closed. He felt this was unsafe. The prince refused my adoptive father, because Su family village could not be returned to anymore. My adoptive father and I looked at each other. My adoptive father asked the ninth prince, "There are rumors in the capital that the emperor's imperial body is unwell. Prince, do you really not want to go back to sea? Hiding like this all the time, when will it be the end?" The ninth prince swept a glance at my adoptive father. "Master Su, you better think it through. Going back now, not only can you not be promoted, you might also lose your head." My adoptive father's mouth twitched. He folded his hands and went to squat at the door. I sighed, feeling the ninth prince was actually a bit pitiful, having a home he couldn't return to, and being wronged by his own father. The current emperor seemed to have quite a few sons, but they all fought with each other, and several had died. Now only the ninth prince and the eighth prince were left. The eighth prince was born to consort Shu, and the ninth prince's mother was the late Empress Kai. My adoptive father said the emperor and Empress Kai were childhood sweethearts. When the late emperor was alive, the 4 princes also fought messily for the throne. The late empress's maiden family, the Duke of An's mansion, chose to help the emperor. The emperor was very moved. When he ascended the throne, he actively told Empress Kai that within 10 years the harem would not marry other people. When Empress Kai's children grew up, he would then open the harem. But very unfortunately, the 2 children Empress Kai gave birth to consecutively both died, so the emperor could not wait anymore. In the 3rd year of his boasting of not taking concubines, he took 11 concubines in one breath, and continuously gave birth to children. But unfortunately, not many of those children survived either. Not 2 years later, Duke Wen reported indicted Empress Kai's father, the Duke of An, for colluding with the enemy and committing treason. The emperor actually killed his father-in-law who had helped him, and also killed his father-in-law's only grandson, cutting off his family's incense line. Empress Kai was extremely angry and had a big fight with the imperial concubine. It was said she hanged herself that very day, but was saved by someone. It was also that day the imperial physician found out she was pregnant again. Empress Kai did not go out of her door for 9 months, and finally gave birth to the 9th prince. When the 9th prince grew to 10 years old, Empress Kai suddenly died. After Empress Kai passed away, the 9th prince requested to leave the palace to live by himself. After he went out, he never entered the palace again, nor did he see the emperor. Duke Wen framed the Duke of An, but the emperor trusted treacherous officials and killed loyal officials. The 9th prince probably hated not only Duke Wen, but also the emperor. To make the 9th prince feel secure, I squeezed his hand warmer flat with my bare hands in front of him, and said fiercely, "In the future, whoever bullies you, his head will share the fate of this hand warmer." The 9th prince looked at me and grind his teeth. Wang Suihua, cold. I was a bit embarrassed, grabbed his hand and placed it in my bosom. "I will help warm it for you." The 9th prince acted as if he were scalded, withdrew his hand with a shoe sound, and his face turned completely red. "Wang Suihua, you. I proudly patted my chest. "My bosom is warmer than the hand warmer, right? Don't be polite, come to take warmth anytime." The 9th prince turned his back and kept panting. It seemed he was truly angered severely. In the afternoon, the 9th prince suddenly asked me, "How old were you when you were sold by your father?" 10 years old. I remembered very clearly, that was also a winter. I wore straw shoes, standing in the snow, my toes were about to freeze off. After my father took the money given by my adoptive father, he left immediately. From leaving me to entering his house door, he walked a total of 67 steps. In these 67 steps, he did not turn back to look at me even once. My mother was cooking food in the kitchen. She knew my adoptive father would bring money to buy me in the afternoon, so she took out the only piece of salted meat at home to stew with bamboo shoots. The meat drifting out of the room smelled so fragrant, so fragrant. Until now, I still don't know what salted meat stewed with bamboo shoots tastes like. My adoptive father said it was not delicious, and I also felt it must not be delicious. "Don't you hate your father?" I crushed a stone to pieces. At that time I was angry to death, wanting to go back and smash his pot, but I was afraid of scaring away my adoptive father, then truly nobody would want me anymore. The 9th prince laughed. "Should be early, yes. Thinking about it after so many years, I regret it. But prince, I have a particularly reasonable idea. Do you want to listen?" The 9th prince signaled me to speak. "In this world, nobody's goodness to another is without asking for return, so it doesn't matter, everyone is even." The 9th prince suddenly asked me, "Then what about your goodness to me?" "There is some." I was a bit embarrassed. "I want to eat my fill." "9th prince, can you let me eat my fill?" The 9th prince burst into laughter. "Can? This prince will never let you starve in this life." I rubbed my hands with excitement and walked back and forth. "Prince, you are so good to me. I will definitely help you take revenge. How will you take it?" I carried him and walked. "Let's find a place where others cannot find us, and then discuss slowly." "I can walk. Don't take everything upon yourself." The prince walked too slowly. "Don't be anxious." "Yay, come up." I brought the 9th prince and my adoptive father to Tunia Mountain. When the 9th prince saw the 3 big characters written on top, his facial expression was not very good looking. Black Wind Stronghold. My adoptive father was full of worries. "This place doesn't look too much like a good place." I gave a mysterious smile. "In a moment, I will give you a big surprise." Just after I finished speaking, a person ran out from Black Wind Stronghold. When my adoptive father saw that person, his facial expression changed greatly. "Bandit." The 9th prince's facial expression became even more ugly. Ma Chowha ran toward us and hugged me at once. "Big brother, you have finally come. We missed you to death." 1 year ago, my adoptive father returned to his hometown. Ma Chowha blocked the road to rob him and injured my adoptive father. Half a month later, I carried a meteor hammer and killed into the bandit's den alone, beating Ma Chowha until he ran like a frightened rat. Ma Chowha admitted defeat and also pulled me to become sworn brothers, calling me Big Brother. Ma Chowha also said I was the chief of Tunia Mountain. The 9th prince pushed away the excited Ma Chowha. "I am her man. Who are you?" Ma Chowha's smile sank. "I am her sworn brother, having legitimately become sworn brothers." "Oh, turned out to be a sworn brother." The 9th prince gripped Ma Chowha's hand, and the 2 people stood without moving, looking at each other. "It seems you two appreciate each other." Seeing the 2 of them looking like they regretted not meeting earlier, I was very happy. "How about the 3 of us become sworn brothers again?" Just after I finished speaking, Ma Chowha, for some unknown reason, actually staggered back a few steps, fell to the ground with a thud, sweating profusely. So anxious. I hurried forward, and also knelt side by side with him, and waved toward the 9th prince. "Prince, come quickly. Big brother Ma cannot wait anymore." The 9th prince stood without moving. Ma Chowha took a look at me, rolled his eyes, and fainted with excitement. Ma Chowha woke up only at night, and he told me it was the 9th prince who knocked him unconscious. I thought to myself, the 9th prince didn't even move his hands. 9th master sways when he walks. While you are tall and big, how could he possibly beat you? You are so powerful. Big brother, do you really think I am powerful? I nodded. Yes, a person needs to be confident. He was smashed by my big hammer 3 or 4 times last time. yet could still climb up again. I thought there was no second person in this world who could do it. I stayed in Blackwind Stronghold. The ninth prince caught a cold and got a fever. I wanted to enter the mountain to hunt some wild game to nourish the ninth prince, but the subordinates would not let me move. An hour later, the courtyard was full of birds and beasts. I felt having subordinates was quite good. Since the ninth prince fell sick, he became even more delicate and could not leave people. The ninth prince wanted me to feed him for meals and soup. I advised him to go down to the ground to walk around, but he stubbornly refused and would not let me go out either. Where else does it hurt? Does the arm hurt? No. I massaged his whole body. Massaging and massaging, his body became even hotter. The ninth prince asked me that question again. Between me and your adoptive father, who do you choose? Can't both people be chosen? He is my dad. As long as he hasn't died, I cannot abandon him and ignore him. When my dad dies, I will definitely choose only you. The ninth prince's expression was of pure relief. Someone sent a letter to the ninth prince from the capital, saying Duquin was arrested for the crime of corruption and fraud. The ninth prince planned to go back. He said he would go back alone, letting me and my adoptive father stay in Tunia Mountain. I didn't quite understand why. The situation in the capital may be unstable. The ninth prince is afraid you will face danger if you go back. My going can protect him. Silly girl. My adoptive father poked my head. Between you and the prince, in the end, is it you protecting him or him protecting you? Do you not know at all? Don't know. My adoptive father said a silly person has silly blessings. Half a month after the ninth prince left, he sent a letter to me, saying everything was well with him in the capital, telling me not to worry, but he still did not let me and my adoptive father go back. On the 30th day, the people of our whole stronghold were busy celebrating the new year. I was in the kitchen wrapping dumplings with everyone, when suddenly someone rushed into the back kitchen. Not good, the court's people have come. Ma Chowha and I led people down the mountain. The troops coming from the court had a lot of momentum. The leading general stared at me and said, "Hand over Wang Suihua." The other people disband on the spot, and we will not embarrass you. If you don't hand her over, this general will immediately lead troops to rush your Blackwind stronghold. My adoptive father's facial expression changed greatly, protecting me behind his back, cupping his hands and asking, "Can the military gentleman please inform why you want to take away my daughter? My daughter has always been well-behaved and sensible." Never. The opposite side sneered and interrupted my adoptive father's words. "We don't know about this. The people above ordered it. Just follow us." Ma Chowha and my adoptive father both disagreed, but I felt if we could avoid fighting then avoid it. Not to mention the opposite side had 20,000 people. We were not their opponents. Okay, I will go with you. I was locked in a courtyard, tied to a tree, with several people guarding me. Who on earth are you people? Why did you arrest me? I want to see the ninth prince. Those people mocked me for being silly, and were unwilling to say a single word of extra talk. I was so hungry my front chest touched my back, and they didn't give me food to eat either. In the late half of the night, while I was dozing off confusedly, suddenly I heard a world-shaking sound outside. Immediately the guards watching me asked, "What happened? Where did the fight start? Look at the north. Is it on fire?" "What north?" "That is the imperial palace." Several guards became panicked. Suddenly a rain of arrows shot over, and the guards fled in panic. At this time, someone outside the courtyard called me. "Big brother, if you are inside, just make a sound." It was Ma Chowha. I shouted with excitement, "I am here, I am here." Ma Chowha came to save me. Then what were we waiting for? Instantly I used my strength, uprooting the tree together with its roots, holding the tree and making a round of sweeping with the tree top. Those guards were beaten by me into rolling east and west. Ma Chowha led the brothers to kill their way in. When he saw me holding a tree to fight, he had a face of amazement. "Only chief can use this." I threw away the tree. "Did you bring food? I am starving to death." Brought it, brought it." The prince said you are afraid of hunger. Every one of us carries warm cakes in our bosoms." Ma Chowha handed the cakes to me. I ate my fill, and followed Ma Chowha onto the street. There were so many people on the street. Among these people, there were not only brothers from Blackwind Stronghold, but also brothers from the military camp. Ma Chowha led our group of people to walk toward the north. Only when using a big tree trunk to ram the east gate did I react. "What are we doing? Forcing the palace?" Ma Chowha's face turned red with excitement. I was also very excited. Entering the imperial palace meant I could see the ninth prince. We rushed into the imperial palace. In the palace, there were fighting people everywhere, and the smell of blood reached the sky. I looked for the ninth prince everywhere. Suddenly, I saw a person in the distance flying over eaves and walking on walls, his sword flashes moving, killing people fast and fiercely. I watched to a state of blankness, swallowed my saliva, and shouted, "And I ninth prince, is it you?" The ninth prince saw me, and immediately withdrew his sword to fly over toward me. "Prince, you." I looked at the sword in his hand, and looked at him again. "You know martial arts. You were not here." I was so scared. They bullied me. I blocked the ninth prince behind my back, and said angrily, "Rest assured, I said I would protect you, so I will definitely protect you." I rushed over, the ninth prince followed behind me, and in a short moment we cleaned up everyone. "It still has to be you. Without you, I definitely wouldn't survive today." The ninth prince hugged me. "You have grown thin these days. When the matters here are finished, I will take you to eat delicious food. I want to eat meat. I haven't eaten meat properly for many days." I actually saw the emperor. It was a pity my adoptive father was not here, otherwise he would certainly be very happy, because he had always wanted wanted to see the emperor. But the ninth prince was very unhappy to see the emperor, and the father and son were arguing. The emperor pointed at the ninth prince and cursed very unpleasantly, saying the ninth prince was unfilial, saying the ninth prince was a beast. The ninth prince asked the emperor, "Did you tacitly allow Duke Wen to poison my mother to death?" The emperor flew into a great rage, and broke the ninth prince's head with a teacup. Empress Kai's family claimed the credit of heaven as their own power, simply not knowing what was what. Killing them was also for the imperial power, they deserved to be killed. Then were my two deceased older brothers killed by you? And the deaths of the third prince and fourth prince, were they also your handiwork? So what if they were? As long as I am not dead for one day, the world is mine. Nobody can snatch my things, even a biological son must die. The ninth prince was extremely disappointed, and sat on the chair laughing for a long time. Even a tiger does not eat its cubs. Since you felt your sons threatened your position, why did you give birth to us? The emperor thought otherwise. The ninth prince imprisoned the emperor in Qianqin Hall. Closing the door, he sat down on the steps, raising his head to look at the dark sky that had no light at all. In my memory, imperial father never looked at me directly even once. Not just me, the other brothers were the same. For us, what we fought for was perhaps not just the throne, but also our father's gaze. If I could choose, I would rather be born into an ordinary family, enjoying ordinary family affection, which is better than the imperial family, leaving only mutual suspicion and hatred. I hugged the ninth prince, and the ninth prince touched my head. Suihua, let us not be such cold-blooded parents, we must love every child. I certainly won't sell my own child. He said we are beasts, they are the real beasts. When the ninth prince talked about children, I thought of my adoptive father. I asked Ma Chowha about my adoptive father's whereabouts. Ma Chowha said after I went down the mountain, my adoptive father said he was worried, and also followed to leave. My heart was raised. Did he truly just leave? Ma Chowha nodded. We also looked for him, but we didn't find him even after looking for half a month. The ninth prince and I sent people to look for my adoptive father. We looked all over inside and outside the capital, but didn't find him. Until half a month later, someone found a corpse in the mountains. Because the weather was cold, the corpse had not gone bad yet. I stumbled to find my way over. The corpse's face was already swollen, but it wore the exact same clothes as my adoptive father. What to do? I hadn't provided for him yet. He hadn't been promoted to a 5th grade official or promoted to an imperial title yet. He bought me back, and in those few years of raising me, even when he couldn't eat his fill himself, he had to let me eat, but I didn't let him get a single benefit. I was too useless. I regretted it to death. At that time I should have begged my adoptive father, letting him not go down the mountain. Master Su, go in peace. This prince will posthumously grant you the title of Duke of Jing, and the deceased Mrs. Su as a 1st grade noble lady, to fulfill your lifetime wish and repay your kindness of raising Suihua. Suddenly, someone from a slanted corner took over the words. Can you directly grant the title of Duke? I was stunned, turned my head back, and saw my adoptive father standing not far away with disheveled hair. I immediately began to cry loudly, and lunged over. Ouch. My adoptive father was knocked down to the ground by me. Dad didn't die, but is about to be killed by your knocking. My crying couldn't be stopped. I really thought you died. I haven't provided for you yet. No, it's not important. Prince, give a definite answer. My adoptive father looked eagerly at the ninth prince. The ninth prince gave a laugh, flicked his sleeve and walked away. Prince, don't leave. Chased up to him, squatting in front of him. You run too slowly. I can carry you to run faster. Suihua, hurry. Today we must let the prince give a definite answer, lest the prince goes back on his word. Dad, the prince keeps his word, he won't go back on it. Suihua, you are still too tender. Your understanding of people is too shallow. The ninth prince suddenly stopped. Hungry, let's go home to eat first, and chat slowly. My eyes lit up. Prince, what do we eat? The bamboo shoots in the mountain are not bad. I had people gather them. Tonight we eat salted meat stewed with bamboo shoots. My stomach paused, and I nodded hard. Okay, I like salted meat stewed with bamboo shoots the most.